just a lighter gray. Believe what we say, not what you see today. Super Earth stands tall, they shout in every town. And if you dare to question, they'll write you right down. We promise prosperity, the ballot box shines. Just don't mind the fine print in all the dotted lines. You're free to agree, you've got the choice to obey. Join the celebration, truth's a holiday. Oh, truth beats loud, truth beats proud. Spin the story, sway the crowd. March to the rhythm, dance to the sound. The ministry's wisdom will always astound. Oh, truth beats bold, truth beats fast. Rewrite the future, erase the past. Wave your banners, join the parade. Believe in us, it's the choice you made.
Freedom's Guardians of Truth. That was Ministry of Truth by FM Helldiver Radio, a musical tribute to my bosses on Super Earth and their unerring ways of guiding good and proper thought. I mean, some may say that Super Earth government is a little heavy-handed and does a lot of boneheaded decisions. Some may even consider them heartless sometimes. However, when we're dealing with an army of unending robots that want to tear the brain clean out of your skull to use as an NVIDIA GPU, and swarms of bugs that want to murder, hate, eat everything, I think you're gonna find that we're a hell of a lot better than the alternatives. Speaking of socialistically inclined graphing calculators, the forces of the Western Front reached their kill quota easily today, and robot internal drives are being examined by top cartographers within the Ministries of Science and Truth to discern where these jetpack jerks are being made. Then, we're going to issue a recall notification to them, straight to whatever passes for the afterlife in automatonic culture. The defense of Marfark rallied earlier today and looks to edge out a narrow win against the automatonic collective. Martale is still being worked on, which is especially relevant because that's our closest ticket to Choohe, which will need to be taken for this major order to succeed. Speaking of Choohe, the Liberation fleet has a bit of egg on their face after deploying Decay to said planet with no means to follow her there. The orbital blockade power has been active for some time, and once the station moves to Martale at the end of the night, the fleet will enjoy the last hour and a half of it. Now we know the station can do that. Please don't do that again, guys. Within the TQZ, Pandion is slowly losing ground because of the manpower draw from the Western Front, but not to a problematic degree. Rock's defense flopped over like a celestial cow early this morning, and things haven't improved a single bit for the Boring Rock, dropping an astonishing 20% in liberation value over the course of the day. Wow, that's a whole lot of tyranny. Next on the docket for tonight, we cover a bit of personal news. Earlier today, I was presented with this lovely art piece from Democracy Officer Boogeyman of the Special Forces Demon Corps. I'll admit, when I first came across this channel for Demon Valor applications, I did not understand the assignment whatsoever. I thought it was just something similar to Alliance Orders where we told our stories and I failed to include proper documentation. Even so, he made this for me anyway, and I understand that he's a fan of the show. He might even be listening right now. Well, I'm a fan of you too, Boogeyman. I hope you're having an amazing night, and thank you very much for the art piece. Honestly, he's just an amazing artist, and he also made these other pieces. Such talent deserves recognition. However, while I was engaging in this discussion with Boogeyman, it occurred to me that while I've done an awful lot of work in telling the stories of others, I have never explained my own. So on tonight's news, we examine one of the Liberation Fleet's most adorable, cute, and unexpectedly lethal newscasters. Me. Some have asked, where did I even come from? I just kind of showed up at the tail end of last June and started doing this job. Well, I think you'll find my story pretty typical of most Helldivers. Growing up as a faunus on Super Earth wasn't exactly easy. Couple that with being neurodivergent and practicing an alternative lifestyle made it even less so. The flavor text of Managed Democracy says that all are equal, But more often than not, it doesn't pan out that way. And that fact really miffs off the Ministry of Truth when you point it out. This is especially true in the super American Southern Continental region. The bottom line is that life kind of sucked, and I wasn't particularly happy with how things were going. So the minute I turned 18, I marched into the Super Earth Armed Forces recruitment office and signed on. My parents weren't happy. But I'll be honest, my parents are never happy, and I wasn't their problem anymore. Unlike most, my first deployment wasn't to Malevelon Creek, or even the Western Front for that matter. I first tasted combat on Errata Prime just prior to the TCS system being installed, and things went pretty good. It started going bad at Dropnir, which my first deployment there was just screaming and bloodletting in 40-minute increments. Then, once Dropnir was liberated, I got deployed to the Creek. I have gone on record as saying this planet wasn't the bloodiest battleground of the war, but there was just something about this place. The dim twilight, the game of cat and also cat with the bots, and how much I just came to despise the sound of Devastator laser repeaters. There was just so much blood and muck. And I grew up having to work on engines. I hated the smell of oil. It was suffocating. I hated all of this. The only thing I hated more was them, the bots. Things largely became kind of hazy around this time. I don't really remember it too well, but I do remember the surprise when the major order to liberate Malevelon was complete and there just wasn't anyone left to fight there. I remember coming back to my ship, rinsing my fur clean, having a really good, long, hard cry, and then I came back to the office in my Super Destroyer where there was an email waiting for me. The Ministry of Truth didn't actually expect me to survive the Creek, much less fight long enough to make the planet give up. I'll never forget the first line of that email. I still have it saved on my terminal. We need to talk to you about a project that we want to launch using your talents. You're recalled to Super Earth effective immediately. We wish to speak to you in person about the Radio Angel program. So, what exactly is the Radio Angel program? To put it simply, war correspondence. The Ministry wanted a talented helldiver with a cheerful disposition and probably a strong immunity to PTSD to report the facts of what was happening on the front lines as they witnessed them and not have to wait for reports to pass censorship checks or deal with long transmission queues back to Super Earth. Why is that relevant? Think back to when Impalers first started appearing in the TQZ. Strauben News ended up reporting on that 3 weeks after they first showed up. I think you see the problem. The more harsh truth is that the Ministry saw me as a blonde moron with a brain filled with Creek-related trauma and patriotic indoctrination that they thought would be easy to control. An idea that is proving less valid every day. I mean, yes, I do try my heart out to inspire and motivate others, especially in light of how hard things can be out here. But I have proven, with great eloquence, that if I asked my fans to jump back to Super Earth and turn the Ministry of Truth building into a parking lot, they would probably do it. And I have secured many allies. That's the thing about charismatic individuals. We tend to make friends. I don't want to have a fight with Super Earth, though. When we fight amongst ourselves, only the enemy wins. I like to think of myself as a healthy, moderating influence out here, encouraging the Liberation Fleet to win fights we definitely would have otherwise lost, and my humanitarian efforts with my shadowy helpers, stopping the various ministries from engaging in their worst, darkest impulses. I'm not a chaos diver. I'm just empathetic to the struggles of others, and I want everyone to be well. That's been Liberty's Latest with me, Pandera the Radio Angel. Tomorrow looks to see the campaign shift to Matar Bay, and then we'll be enjoying Hellmire with Stratjammers once again. Seriously, why are there so many fire tornado planets on the bot front? I bet the bug divers never have to put up with this nonsense. I know the Chaos Divers attempted to take Choohe a few weeks ago, and they got their anarchist clocks cleaned. I mean, seriously, those guys dropped on Choohe and they just got absolutely wrecked. So let's see if we can't do better. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.